Es brennt in dir, dem Ziel so nahe gewesen zu sein. Den Tesserakt zu besitzen, Macht zu besitzen. Grenzenlose Macht. Und wofür?
I liked the movie a lot, especially your role.
Did you?
Loki, yeah, I really liked him because there's something tragic about his character. Although he's very evil, maybe you can talk a little bit about him, because it's the second time you play him.
Yeah, well, so the first time I played him was in Thor, which was released last year, and the story of Thor is really an origin story for Loki as well. Loki is the second son of Odin, and the brother of Thor, and he's grown up in Thor's shadow, and Thor is always the favorite son, and Loki, in the course of the film, finds out that his life is a lie, that he is actually this monster who was left to die, and he was left in the cold, and he was adopted, and it essentially, in that film, his heart is broken because of that betrayal. And in the Avengers, he's left Asgard, he's come down to Earth to rule the human race as a king, because he has no kingdom. And so I feel as though his credentials as a villain are motivated by this tragic jealousy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what makes him so special, I think.
Thank you.
If you would describe the Avengers in 5 words, what would that be?
Oh my Lord.
Try, give it a try.
Here we go.
Yeah.
More fun than is legal.
Oh, great, great, that's cool. Yeah, the Marvel comics have a huge fan base. In the beginning, were you sort of intimidated by that fan base because they're not very easy to satisfy?
Do you know, it's only retrospectively I feel the fear is in a way, but I found the fans to be so passionate and so positive and supportive. Actually, they've been very supportive of me, and so I'm very lucky, and I feel really privileged to have a group of people who are so passionate about the stuff. You know, sometimes actors make films, and you know, we sort of, you put your heart and soul into it, and you're really proud of it, and then nobody comes to see it. So the idea that there's already a group of people who are desperate to see it and excited by it, as excited, if not more excited than we are, is an amazing privilege. You're
sort of a newcomer.
I am.
Yes, and how was it playing with Robert Downey Jr. and Samuel Jackson? I mean,
I grew up watching those two. Yeah. You know, I grew up watching most of the actors in this film, or I've admired them for a long time. It's so extraordinary to work with your heroes and for them to treat you as an equal. And that's the greatest, really my greatest memory of making this film is doing two-handers, you know, a scene with Sam Jackson, a scene with Robert, and both of them treating me like an equal in the scene, and that's an amazing thing.
Ein Mann mit atemberaubenden Aggressionsbewältigungsmethoden, 2 meisterhafte Killer und du, mein Freund, hast es hingekriegt, dass jeder von denen sauer auf dich ist.
Das war der Plan.
Kein guter Plan. Wenn sie kommen, und das werden sie, dann deinetwegen.
Ich habe eine Armee.
Wir haben einen Hulk.
Oh, ich dachte, die Bestie wäre verschwunden.
Du übersiehst das Wesentliche. Es gibt keinen Thron. Keine Version dieser Geschichte, in der du als Sieger hervorgehen würdest. Vielleicht kommt eine Armee, vielleicht ist das zu viel für uns, aber das geht alles auf deinen Deckel. Denn wenn wir die Welt nicht schützen können, werden wir sie auf jeden Fall rächen.
In the end of the Avengers, there's sort of a hint that there might be a sequel. I know you probably can't talk about it, but if yes, would you play Loki again? Because you're going to play him in Thor 2.
Yes, in Thor 2, yeah.
So it's 4th time, would it be then?
In Avengers 2?
Yeah.
It would be. That's up to the Marvel producers, and they have such an incredible handle on what makes these films successful, and they've broadened the universe now so that Thor has opened up an extra dimension. It's opened up space and the rest of the universe, and Captain America has his own thing, and Iron Man has. So I wonder which way it'll go. But
the Avengers everywhere.
Yeah.
Right now you're traveling a lot. We have talked about that. You have been in Moscow, in
Yes.
London at the European premiere,
Yeah.
and now in Berlin. Any funny encounters with fans or people?
Uh, they've just been amazing, actually. There was one, they've been so kind and they've turned up everywhere, just dressed in horns and some people are just fully painted green who are like the Incredible Hulk, and amazing fans, really. And there was one fan in Moscow who jumped into Mark Ruffalo's car. You have to ask him about it.
Oh,
and
really?
and said, Mark, and grabbed him by the shoulders and shook him and said, Mark, you have to promise me something. He was like, okay, what is it? What is it? Like, and he thought, he was having a sort of John Lennon moment, and that there was kind of a Beatlemania. And then she said, are you going to see Tom? You have to give this to Tom. And it was a sketch that she'd done of me, and poor Mark was like, so it was like his bubble was burst in that moment, but he was so sweet. And then he brought it to me at this big dinner that we had in Moscow, and said that it was very important that you received this picture, and it was an amazing picture. But it's one of those things where 6-7 years ago I was just a student, and suddenly you're in Moscow and people are running up to you with pictures, and that's crazy.
That's Hollywood hype. Thank you very much.
Thank you.